Hi again, everybody. It's Kevin Knessa coming to you from the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com on this, the 27th day of June in the year 2022. Sure hope you're enjoying your Monday, no matter where it is you are in the country. Very humid day today here in the Northeast. Very sticky, and it was rainy this afternoon, but very intolerable. Almost feels like August out there today, doesn't it? But no matter what you're doing, hope you're enjoying your day today. And as you do each and every week, you welcome me into your home so that I can bring you the current week's newspaper. And this week's front page has a great story and a sad story. The great story is the lead story, and it's about a gentleman from Nutley who was a member of the the gentleman from Lyndhurst who is a member of the 1945 graduating class at Lyndhurst High School. At the time, he was 17 years old and shipped off to World War II. And as it turns out, he missed his graduation and never got a chance to get his diploma in all those years that followed. Well, lo and behold, he told his daughters, and one thing led to another. And when the Lyndhurst High School class of 2022 graduated last week, he finally got his sheepskin. So take a look at this story by Laura Compton, our own Laura Compton, who did a phenomenal job finding out about the story, researching it, and meeting with the gentleman in Lyndhurst. Garofalo is his last name, and he's 95 years old. Can you see him in the picture? I'm not sure if it's big enough on your screen, but if it is, this guy's 95 years old, hasn't lost a step, and 77 years after he graduated from Lyndhurst High School, he finally has his diploma in hand. A great feel-good story. The bottom of the front page, unfortunately, was not a feel-good story, and that is of a fire that took place yesterday at 210 and 212 Laurel Avenue in Kearney. Unfortunately, both of the homes caught fire, and they're both uninhabitable. And what that means, unfortunately, there is that two homes can't be used, and three families are now without a home. And most of their possessions were destroyed in this fire. However, when you consider the conditions, it was very, very hot yesterday, 90 degrees, and that there were many firefighters from all over the region, not just Kearney, Harrison, North Arlington, Belleville, Hoboken, Jersey City, Bayonne, North Hudson Regional. I could go on. You'll see it in the story, and I hope you'll read it. Not a single injury was reported, not to any of the occupants of the home, and not to any of the firefighters, which is a minor miracle in itself. I spoke with Chief Joe Mastandria this morning, and the conditions were not good. Right from the get-go, it was a little bit of a wind. I don't know if that had any contributing factor, but unfortunately, for those three families, life is changed completely now. St. Stephen's Parish, however, where all of the residents of the home are parishioners, is collecting gift cards for retail stores to donate to the families that are affected by this fire. And you can drop them off over at the St. Stephen's Rectory on Washington Avenue, just to the east of Kearney Avenue. And if they're not open when you show up, there is a slot in the office door where you can drop off the gift cards that will be given to these families so that they can buy things that they're going to need. And they're going to need everything. So if you can't buy one of the cards because you can't make it to one of like Walmart or Target or Walgreens or something like that, the parish says that it will accept checks written out to the St. Stephen's Charity Fund, and they will turn that money around and purchase the gift cards for you. So there are a couple of ways to donate if you cannot do anything else. So they're going to need your help, folks. Everybody's going to need your help, and they're going to need people to really chip in here to help them get their lives back in order. I cannot even imagine what it must be like to wake up on a Sunday, and then by the end of the day, every possession that you have is taken away. But that's pretty much what happened. to these folks yesterday. But I tell you this, it's really great that nobody was hurt. And the Kearney Fire Department and the other departments that were on scene really worked their butts off yesterday during the day. Started about 10:30 and ended 3 hours later. There was a lot of hard work. They had a fire watch overnight, and they were checking for flare-ups. There weren't any, fortunately, and now the homes have been turned back over to them to see if they can salvage anything, but I'm not sure what they're going to be able to salvage out of that because it was such a strong fire. But that's where that is, and we hope that you will consider donating, and you can drop off the gift card donations over at St. Stephen's Church at Washington Avenue, the rectory, where it is, right just behind the church over there. Last week, we told you a little bit about the 17-year-old girl who was physically assaulted by a gentleman in Kearney. And the one of the victims, I had a chance to speak with her. She's 17 years old, and she's a very, very brave young lady. And she spoke out. We don't use her name because we want to protect her anonymity and her privacy. And I spoke to her mom as well. Talk about two wonderful human beings. Both are speaking out, but the 17-year-old girl especially, because she doesn't want anything like this to happen to anybody else. So I hope you'll give this some serious thought when you read it. You know, she could have easily been raped, and the suspect was charged with attempted sexual assault. But she screamed, she dropped to the ground. Two very, very brave off-duty fire captains came to her rescue, as did another good Samaritan, and were able to stop this guy from doing what he did. But I don't know, you know, she was assaulted at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday by this guy, and he seems to just, you know, just went out and did what I did. So we'll see what happens there. I was supposed to have a first hearing last week, and the mom and daughter both went to the hearing, but it was canceled. So I'm not sure what has happened or whether he's been granted bail, but let's just hope he isn't, because he shouldn't have it. All right, so a little bit more about that later on. Now, Governor Cody, former Governor Richard Cody, will be in Belleville on Friday to swear in Mayor Mike Melham to his second term of office, which is very interesting because during the campaign, a lot of Melham's detractors tried to say he was just in bed with Republicans and not Democrats, but here is the former Governor Richard Cody, a Democrat, swearing Melham into his second term. He will do the same thing, too, for the council candidates, Graziano and also Naomi DePena. So that's at Township Hall on Wednesday, where former Governor Richard Cody, the longest-standing state senator in New Jersey, will be on hand to do the honors, as they say. He's been in the state senate since 1974. Moving to East Newark now. Did you know that the East Newark Police Department is going to be putting on its first ever junior police academy? So if you're the mom and dad of a 10, 11, or 12-year-old who lives in East Newark, they are putting on this junior police academy for the very first time. Billy Arizuma is putting it on as a community police officer. Nobody better equipped to do so in the East Newark PD. He's got the full support of the chief, and I understand that Jack Grimm, who does the Kearney Police Junior Police Academy every year, was instrumental in helping Billy get things off and running. So check it out. It's the last week in July, and there's registration forms and things of that nature. And they're also accepting donations as well, because it's an expensive process. You got to buy uniforms for the kids, T-shirts, all that stuff. They have to bring in speakers from the outside, transportation, you name it. So if you're interested perhaps in donating too, you can find that out in the story on page number 5. 4th of July celebration in the town of Kearney is coming up on Monday, a week from today, with fireworks at Veterans Field. If it rains on Monday, the fireworks will go off on Tuesday, July the 5th. Ralph Katafi has all the details in a full-page ad on page number 5, so please check that out and go to the fireworks. They're always phenomenally done. The fireworks in Kearney are locally, second to none, really. And Ralph puts in a huge amount of work to get that off the ground every year. So check it out when you get a chance. Jason Bernstein has one sports story this week, and it is about some players from North Arlington and Lyndhurst High School who participated in a Bergen County North-South All-Star football game a couple of days ago. So check that out when you get a chance. Tim Wagner has a police blotter, as he does each and every week from the Kearney Police Department. And we also have a series of 4th of July greetings from different entities, governments, businesses, and things of that nature that go and start on page number 10 and end on 13. So I hope you'll read all of those, especially if any of the business owners you are a customer thereof. There's some very neat messages in all of those, and Michelle did a great job pulling all those together. 2 pages of classifieds as we have each and every week. So if you're looking for a place to live or a job or services that you need, you're going to find them in this week's edition of The Observer. And that's it for now. That went pretty fast. It's about 11 minutes past the hour. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me tonight. There's so many other things you could be doing, but instead you're here watching this. Don't forget, we will be back 1 week from today. Even though it is the 4th of July, we will have another broadcast 1 week from today. Keep this in mind, though. We're closed on July the 4th. So that means if you need to get anything to us for deadlines, everything's pushed up by a day. And it also means that the classified deadline for us next week, for next week's paper, is this Friday at 2 p.m. So you need to have all classified materials to us, either by email or by phone, by 2 p.m. on Friday. So if that's the case, don't forget, if you need to get something in, try to get it in a little bit early so you're not right at the very end. Because once we're done on Friday, you won't be able to get something in until the second week of July. So it's going to be a little bit of a break in between there. So try to get it to us by 2 on Friday. From the newsroom of The Observer and TheObserver.com, it's Kevin Canessa signing off for now. And I hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody. Good night.